Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on January 21st, 2020. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. In terms of news here, we did have Bank of Japan monetary policy statement, and everything is basically they've just kind of kept everything on hold. Another thing that is going on right now also is the outbreak of a virus that we see was confirmed from China. So there's an outbreak of this coronavirus in China, and it is spreading to different parts of the world here, and that is causing concerns in the market here as well, because this outbreak is it's dangerous. So we have some cases of it in US and in Thailand as well. So people traveling out of China basically are bringing the virus with them in some parts of China. So that news has caused some distress in the markets. So just keep an eye out on the developments in regards to that. Coming up, though, we do have Bank of Japan press conference still coming up this morning, and then we have average earnings index. So average earnings index and employment numbers out of British pound or out of UK are important. They are just like the non-farm payroll numbers. So this is something to keep track of. So if we see that either the average earnings index or employment numbers are below expectations, we could see a negative impact on British pound. And we heard last week that Bank of England is willing to take some action, or at least they're concerned about the state of the economy. If the numbers start coming out below expectations, then that puts extra pressure on Bank of England to actually take monetary policy action. And when that happens, it's negative for the currency. That's why we could see British pound drop as a result if the numbers are below expectations. And then vice versa, if the numbers are good, we are likely to see British pound go up. But these numbers are important, even though they don't say red here. It's not marked as red news, but these numbers are very important. So important to keep an eye on it. And then we have a ZEW economic sentiment number here. Again, another number that is important, even though it is not marked as red. The economic sentiment numbers basically just tell us how everybody's feeling in regards to the economy here. So we did hear that US and for the US and Eurozone, they are going to hold off on any additional tariffs till the end of the year. So we're not likely to see any sort of trade wars between EU and US, so that's kind of been put to rest. So especially this, with this being the election year, I'm not expecting to see any more of those problems. So that should be fine. But again, even then, if the economy is not doing so well, it would be negative. So the sentiment numbers are important. If they come in below expectations, that would be negative, but they are supposed to go up overall. And if they come within what the expectation is, then it should be okay. All right, so next we have, let's take a look at our charts here. We'll start off with euro dollar. For euro dollar here, we have an indecision candle. So in this case, I am looking for a bit of a pullback. The two numbers to keep an eye on would be 1.1108, which is this previous support resistance level where we see that price has turned around a few times, or it has touched this level a few times. So bias at this point is neutral. 1108 or 1125 would be another level to keep in mind in terms of a pullback level. So 1.1125 or 1.1108 are two levels to watch. Overall neutral bias, I will look for a pullback, and then as long as it stays below that, looking for a further drop here. So first would be 1.1080, and then 1.1085 0.1040 would be the second level for a drop. So overall bias is still to the downside. It is making lower highs, but watch out for that pullback. Pound dollar here, this one is still into that pullback level. We do have a bullish candle close. Price came into our support level and it wasn't able to go lower. So in this case, from the weekly perspective, it hasn't pulled back completely. So I would look for a bit of a pullback here. 1.3060 would be the pullback level. And then as long as it stays below this level, I would look for a further drop. Overall, though, it is still moving to the downside, so looking for that trend to continue, but watch out for this pullback in the short term. So for coming up here tomorrow, we could see price pull back, and if it holds below 1.3060, I will look for a drop with 1.2950 as the first target, and then 1.2900 as the second target for pound dollar. Now we do have the data employment numbers coming out. If they are positive, expect this to go up further, and then we could see it go all the way into 1.3120. Because this is the range it's been trading in. It could go all the way to the top of the range. But for now, looking for a move higher. Aussie dollar here, bias here is to the downside. We do have a neutral candle close for the day. We have seen a bit of a decline here, but keep in mind price is coming into support, so that's something to watch out for. So for now, bias is to the downside. 0.6850 is the first target, but if it doesn't drop below this, this one could go higher, so just keep that in mind. So for now, bearish to neutral is the bias for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar here, this one is also New Zealand dollar here, we see a neutral bias here as well. This candle close for the day is neutral. So bias is neutral. We could see price move in either direction. So what we need to keep an eye on is which direction it breaks. So if price breaks through the support level, so today's low, then I would look for it to go even lower into the next support level. But should it break above the high of the day, then we could see it go higher towards 0.6650. So we have to watch which direction it wants to break in. So for now, as we can see, this is the range that price has been trading in. So if it holds above 0.6600, this one could go towards the top of the range. So neutral bias for the moment here. And we just need to watch which direction it wants to break. Should it break through the support, I would look for 0.6550 as the next target. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD has been going back and forth here. So right now it's trading in a narrow range. We see that price did reject the high. So the candle close here is bearish. We have a pin bar here, but price is still stuck in this range. So we do need to see price break through the support for it to continue higher. So in this case, first target here is 1.3030 and then 1.3000. So bias is to the downside, but watch out for this range. If it's not able to break out of the range, it could go back in towards the top of the range. So that's something to keep in mind. But for now, bias is to the downside. Euro pound. So euro pound is also stuck in a range. As we can see, for a number of days here, price has been stuck in a range. Today's candle close is bearish. We do have a small pin bar here. So looking for price to drop further. 0.8460 is the target, which is the bottom of the range. So looking for price to drop here. Euro Swiss franc, this one is stuck in a range, hasn't really done anything for a number of days. It's just kind of getting squeezed here at this point, so getting compressed. What I would look for is how price reacts at the support. If it holds above 1.0730, then this one could go back higher. But it is pressuring it's pressuring the support level. So should it break through, we are looking for a bit of a drop here into 1.0660. So overall bias is bearish here, but just keep in mind that it is kind of stuck at the support level. If it does not break through 1.0720, this one could go back up. But right now we have this little bit of a triangle going, which is putting pressure to the downside. Pound Swiss franc here. So this one is also trading in a bit of a range here. For last several days, price has just been sideways. So my bias here is neutral. This one could go up towards the top of the range, but it is neutral. It's still stuck in the range. So we'll have to see which direction it really wants to break in. For now, pound Swiss franc, bias is neutral. I will look for a move towards 1.2660 here, towards the top of the range. And if it holds below the 1.2660 level, then this one could come back down. But basically right now price is stuck in a range, so bias is neutral. Dollar Swiss franc here. This one price is rejected 0.9700 level, so I would look for a drop. We have a pin bar. Price did go up, but it's holding below the support resistance level here. So looking for price to come back down here. So bias is bearish. First target here is 0.9645. and second target 0.9600. So bearish bias for dollar Swiss franc. Pound yen here. This one is kind of going sideways here. Very, very small move for the day. And with this one here, if it holds below 143.50, then I would look for it to drop. But for now, overall, this is stuck in this range here. It is holding towards the top of the range. And the first target here would be 142.30. So it's neutral overall. It doesn't seem to have a clear direction at this point. So we need to see how this one, what this pair wants to do. For now, I am neutral on this. The employment numbers out of the UK will make a difference for pound yen as well. So keep that in mind. Bias is neutral. Euro yen. Euro yen, overall, we see that price had dropped. It pulled back a little bit, but it's holding below the support resistance. So this is where price struggled with and then dropped from. So this one's pulled back into that. So as long as it holds below 122.20, I would look for it to drop further. So in this case, the first target is 121.70. And then the second target is a 121.30. So overall bias is to the downside for euro yen. Dollar yen here. This one, so price has been stuck in this range for a number of days here as well. Price was into resistance and it looks like it's rejecting the resistance. So I will look for it to drop here into 109.75, and if it drops through that, we're looking at 109.50. So bias is to the downside. Aussie yen here, this one as well, overall bias is to the downside. Today's candle close is neutral here, but as long as it holds below 75.80, I will look for it to drop further. The target here would be, the first target is 75.20. Second target is 75.00, so bias is bearish for Aussie yen. New Zealand yen here. This one, again, a neutral bias for the day. We have an indecision candle, so not a lot of movement in this one either. As we can see, this one has also been stuck in a bit of a range here. So neutral bias, this one could go in either direction, but because price is making lower highs and lower lows, I would look for a drop towards 72.20, but bias is neutral. CAD yen is also stuck in a bit of a range. As we can see, for the last several days, it's been hanging there, and we had a bit of a bullish candle close, but overall this is neutral as well. But what I would keep in mind with this one here would be, as long as price stays below 84.50, I will look for a drop here. And in this case, the first target is 83.95. And should it go through that, we're looking at 83.80. So neutral to slightly bearish bias here for CAD yen. Pound New Zealand here. This one hasn't done a whole lot either. Bias is neutral. It's just been stuck in this range for a bit. So neutral bias, today's candle closes neutral. I would look for it to trade between 1.9795 and 1.9540. So bias is neutral for Pound New Zealand. Euro New Zealand here, this one is also sideways here. Hasn't really done much. Price has just been stuck in this range here for a bit. What I will look out for here is that it is into this resistance level. This is where price has reacted multiple times. So what I would say is, if it holds below 1.6820, I will look for a drop back towards 1.6720. So overall bias would be more to the downside just because of this support resistance level. But if it goes through 1.8020, then it could go higher, but as long as it's holding below the support resistance, I will look for it to drop. EURCHF here, this one is right into support here. Today's candle close is neutral. Price has rejected this level several times here. So as long as it holds above 1.4460, I will look for a move higher for EURCHF. Pound CAD here as well. Bias is neutral. Today's candle close is completely neutral. Again, price has been trading in this range here, so not much of a direction at this point. Candle close is neutral. It's into support, so we could see price go towards the middle of the range or even towards the high of the range. Bias is neutral. Euro Aussie, this is neutral here as well. Price has again been stuck in a range. So it looks like there's a lot of wait and see type of scenarios going on. So neutral bias here. I will look for price to trade between 1.6185 and the low of 1.6090. So neutral bias for Euro Aussie. Pound Aussie, this one is also range bound at the moment. So we can see for last several days, price is just traded in this range between 1.90 and in the bottom we have 1.8840. So bias is neutral for Pound Aussie. All right, so let's take a look at commodities here. This one is as well, this one is stuck in a range as well. Now it is putting pressure into the high. So should it go through, I would look for 18.45. So silver stuck in a range, but should it break through 18.15, we are looking at 18.45 as the next target. But if it holds below this 18.15, this one could decline here just like it did last time. So keep an eye on that. So right now it is putting pressure to the upside, but if it doesn't break through 18.15, then this one could come down. So for now, bias is slightly bullish, but with caution. Gold here, gold looks like it wants to break out. It is holding above this previous support resistance level. So this one has more bullishness in it. The first target is 1578, second target 1587. So bias is bullish for gold. Oil here, oil looks bearish. We have a pin bar, so I would look for a drop towards 57.50. So bearish bias for oil. Copper here, copper looking bearish as well. We saw a big drop here. A lot of this has to do with the bit of the risk-off environment here that we saw with the news of the virus coming out, which caused kind of a move towards safe haven assets and away from riskier assets. So we have seen copper drop as a result here as well. But overall, though, price has been making lower highs, so bias is to the downside. Bit of a drop here, so the move may have already happened because we are into support. So watch out for pullback from that, but bias is bearish here. So watch out for a move below 2.75, but only if it breaks through this level would I look for a lower move, but at this point, it could retrace. Okay, Bitcoin here. Bitcoin is range bound at the moment. Price is into the support resistance level here. It's kind of holding above. So I will look for a retest of 84.50. If it holds above 84.50, this one could go higher. But if it breaks through that 84.50 level, I will look for it to come all the way into 80.80. So for now, a bias is neutral for Bitcoin. S&P 500, we had talked about how price had been going up too much and how we could see retracements in our weekly forecast here. So today's candle close was neutral. We did not see price go higher, or it didn't really make much of a move. Completely neutral candle here. But with that news of the virus, we are seeing a decline. This one could get worse. So my bias is to the downside towards 32.92 will be the first target, and 32.65 will be the second target here for S&P 500. So bearish bias for that. NASDAQ here, this one as well, we have seen a drop. Today's candle close was neutral, so nothing really positive for the day today, and looks like we are seeing a turnaround here, so bias is to the downside. First target is 9040, second target 8950, so bias is bearish here for NASDAQ. And with our Dow Jones here, same thing, not much of a move here, very, very small move. So especially after this big move to the upside, we could see retracements. So I am looking for a drop here towards 29,000, and only if it goes through that level, then I would look for 28,900. Otherwise, 29,000 is the first target. And then we have DAX here. DAX is trading in a bit of a range here. It hasn't really gotten out of that. So if the other indices actually drop, this one is likely to drop as well. So keep an eye on on all the indices as you are trading these, because they will be related to each other. So today's candle close for DAX is actually positive. So this one could go up, but if the others drop, they will all generally drop together. It is into resistance, so if it doesn't break through 13,580, this one could drop here as well. And watch out for that. So because all the other ones are looking negative, watch out for the drop in this towards 13,380, which is the support level here. And then we have FTSE. FTSE is looking bearish here. I would look for a drop in FTSE here. Target would be 75.30. So bearish bias here for FTSE as well. Last but not least, we have Nikkei. Nikkei is looking bearish. So the candle close for today was neutral, but it's kind of stuck at the resistance, couldn't go through. We are seeing a drop here. The first target is 23,700, so 23,700, and only if it goes through that one would I look for the next one, 23,550. So bias here is bearish for FTSE. So that's it for today. You guys have a wonderful trading day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.